Stop making someone else's music right now. What do I mean by this? What I mean is stop making music because someone else is telling you to do it a certain way. I'm not saying don't produce other people's music or collaborate or anything like that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm making is stop making decisions about your music because someone comments something or says they prefer it this way or that way. You might be asking, why am I saying this? And it's because people will have their opinions and tell you and expect you to start doing things because they want you to do things and not because you want to do things. I've had people say my productions are too dense. I like a more dense arrangement style, so I'm not gonna just start scaling back my arrangements because some rando in a YouTube comment said I should. I mean, have you heard of Jacob Collier? Okay, so let's talk about this for a bit here. Way too many people care way too much about what other people think, and it's ridiculous. I get it, we're social beings and we ultimately want to fit in, but I've had people comment on my videos saying, I love this. And then literally the next comment is someone saying they hate it. So who am I supposed to listen to? Now, none of this is to say there is not such a thing as objectivity with music. There is definitely a level at which something is objectively not good or objectively good. But then there is the subjective side, or the side where it's kind of down to personal preference, the creative part of it. So let's just assume you're at a point where you're creating music that is objectively good. Obviously, we're not going to dive into what that means, but we're talking in the sense of production value, songwriting value, and whatnot. It's not absolutely terrible. Beyond that, the rest begins to boil down to what you want. This is also why when I do my feedback live streams weekly with my students through Producer Accelerator, I always tell them that they need to decide for themselves what they want out of their music and need to evaluate that internally and then take advice from others and weigh it out before just making sweeping changes because someone told them to do so. Music is one of the most bizarre skills that everyone has their own opinion about what they prefer and they take their opinion as fact. When I do my producer battle videos, which I've started that whole series, and people say things like, clearly so-and-so won. Not really, because then you can see people saying they prefer the other production in that very same comment section. So it's not clearly this person won, where you can actually see the difference of opinions in the same comment section. Do you see what I'm throwing down here? Musicians oftentimes are also the first to complain they don't get credit or complain that no one else compliments them, but are also simultaneously the first to post snarky and condescending comments on someone else's music. And if that's you, you should probably stop. No, seriously, it's ridiculous. Sometimes people who post the most snarky comments are also the ones who aren't willing to put their own neck on the line, or if they do, they also get butthurt feelings when someone else comments something similar on their videos. My whole point here is that 1, stop caring what people think and letting it control how you make music. 2, don't allow those people to dictate whether or not you put yourself out there in the first place or not. And 3, don't be like them. Be an encouragement to others. I mean, this is such a difficult world to exist in as a musician because people do have very visceral reactions to other people's music and can be so sharp in how they respond. So why not be different? Why not take it as a chance to show someone the same level of encouragement and empathy that you would like to hear from someone else? You need to look inside yourself and ask, why are you making music? Why do you want to put it out there in the first place? Is it to impact other people's lives? Because that's amazing. But don't think that because someone starts telling you that you should do it different doesn't mean that your music isn't impacting someone else that didn't comment or didn't say anything. This channel right here has several million views, but I don't have millions of comments. I don't think I even have hundreds of thousands of comments. What does that mean? It means that most people don't comment. You're impacting lives that you don't even know you're impacting. Now, I'm not saying don't take criticism and evaluate criticism. I'm not saying ignore everyone and just go on your own way and say screw you to anyone who would possibly say that you could improve. That's not what I'm saying. Getting constructive criticism is a good thing if done properly. But asking your mom for that isn't a good idea, just like asking a troll isn't a good idea. You have to find who you trust and who you can take seriously to be honest, but also empathetic and understanding about your music. Don't just trust anyone to give you good feedback. Don't expect someone who doesn't know anything about music to give you good feedback either, because they're not going to know how to articulate the nuances that need to be fixed, other than maybe saying, I like it or I don't like it. They're not going to be able to give you very actionable steps on how to improve. Find people who you know understand the language, understand how to make music, understand the nuance, who are also ahead of you. Those are the people you should be listening to. Even now, I still will oftentimes share my music with colleagues to get feedback, but it's a very short list. And sometimes I still get feedback from them that I'm thinking, you know, I don't think I agree, and that's okay. Again, if you're at a point where you can objectively create great music, then the rest is up to preference. Stop worrying about what everyone says. Some people don't like the arrangements I create, and that is fine. And here's a really important fact of life that you just you have to know this, especially if you're a creative person. You will never appease everyone. In fact, as you grow and find more success, those who want to tear you down are going to come out in full force. It's wild, actually, how people can be so eager to rip someone else to shreds the moment they sniff out success. This happened with my channel. Up until my channel started actually really booming, I didn't have a whole lot of people that were coming on my channel and just making super nasty comments. The moment I started having success, all of a sudden it was like, man, where all these people come from? Because they sniffed out the success. You can't make everyone happy, and that shouldn't even be your aim. Take a deep breath, look inside yourself and determine why you do what you do, and stick to it. Keep learning, keep improving, keep growing, but don't make someone else's music.